want to first thank or congratulate um, our signees, Aiden Chronister, Tony Bryant, and Jason Crow Jr. and their families. Specifically, I want to congratulate Jason Crow Jr. on a record-setting um, season that will go down in the history of California high school scoring record. Um, a great feat, a great accomplishment, and I just want that guy to know we're proud of him. I want to thank our fans, and you guys as the media for narrating what you narrate for so many people that are not at the games. I think you guys do a great job. The other thing is reflecting on our previous two games, Notre Dame and Kansas. These opportunities give us a lens to see where we need to grow at. And as a head coach, I will continue to identify those areas that we need to grow so that we can have excellence, so that we can continue to improve, so that our players can continue to improve. I think when you face these teams on the road, it's completely different than facing them on the game. Last season we had ACC, SEC challenge here at home, and we had Kansas game here at home. This year, 2 road games. I think in the future I want to try to offset that, where one year we may have a ACC, SEC challenge on the road, hopefully Kansas game at home. Um, you know, those are things that you look at to try to make sure you keep your team in a specific balance. The other thing is you see the areas you improve in as well. You're identifying where you have gotten better, and I think our team has gotten better. Younger guys are getting reps. It's great to see Trent Burns and Nicholas Randall getting those reps in addition to what November and December gives us. It gives us an opportunity to grow and get better and prepare us for an SEC run. And that's where seeing the players' individual process and progress is important. This team is not close to the ceiling. We are not close to maxing out how we can grow and where we can grow. I'm looking forward to that part as we continue our scheduling, continue playing our games. We got a tough 2 home stand against Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. Alabama State specifically, Tony Matlock does a great job. Coach Nutt gave him his first job when he was a high school coach going into the college ranks. He's been an assistant, associate head coach, and a recruiting coordinator at Memphis and Auburn and different places, and behind a lot of success. So for me, playing against an NCAA tournament team, a team that has won an NCAA tournament game last year, they're going to come in with unbelievable fight, unbelievable game plan. They have great toughness, athleticism. They have great rebounding. Their shooting ability and point of attack are all emphasis, and we have to be able to offset that. And then Sunday, obviously, we play Bethune-Cookman, led by Reggie Theus, and they took Auburn to that first game of the season to overtime. Should have won that game. So by any means are we looking beyond our next opponent, but for the fans out there, we're going to need them here in our arena to help cheer our team on and give us a great home court advantage.
Any questions?
Coach, with the free throw point for your offense, I'm curious, is there kind of a defined benchmark you have for how you quantify like what your free throw attempt rate needs to be, or the differential between you and an opponent? I'm curious just kind of what for you defines success or not being successful.
Yeah, what's successful is this. I want to make more free throws than an opponent attempts. You see what I'm saying? That is a benchmark. Shooting more or making more than the opposite team attempts. That's 1. 2, I want to be able to lead the country and be one of the top teams in the country at that. I think having Ant Robinson, who needs to do a better job at getting to the foul line than years past. He has to improve his point of attack. He has to get to the line. Sebastian Mack has to get to the line. and Mark Mitchell has to continue to get to the line. Mark Mitchell is top 3, top 4 guys in the country in free throw attempts. So I want to see the guys that we recruited, in addition to retained, maximize what they've maximized in years past and get there. The other thing is I want them to make them. And Robinson's percentage isn't where it needs to be with the ones he's taken. And the same with Sebastian Mack, and I think other guys have left some opportunities on the board. We do a great job in practice working on those free throws and impacting the game, and we talk about the emphasis. We just got to maximize the opportunities, just like some of our open shots, open 3-point shots. We got to knock down when we get the opportunity.
Coach, I think in the preseason you mentioned that you wanted to be a team that takes about 800 3-point attempts across the season as well to be at the rate that you would like to be at. How do you balance that with wanting to take more free throws than make more free throws than another team wants to take?
You can't settle with the mid-range shots as much. The guys that shoots them, they need to be the ones that consistently show the percentage in practice. So being able to shoot the non-rim twos versus the rim twos is important. So maximizing that, getting angles, getting easy touches, being able to magnify and create passing opportunities. Extra passes can get that. The ball movement helps. If you're making the threes, great. I don't want to live and die by threes. There's by no means. I want the guys that are at the high percentage to shoot those. I mean, not having Jaden Stone and not having Trent Pierce, that hurts. That hurts. It's just what it is, the gravity on the rim. But I want Luke Northweather. I want Jacob Cruz. I want those guys to be able to knock down their shots when they get them. And I think Cruz is doing a great job. He's one of the nation's leading 3-point shooters. And Luke Northweather is doing a great job as well. So I want our guys to just still be aggressive.
With Ant and Sebastian, is there a specific change you want to see from them offensively when they have the ball in their hands that you think could lead to more attempts from the line?
Pace, being able to play with pace. I think too often we're analytically frozen instead of using instincts. I want these guys to use their instincts and stop trying to be perfect, so to speak. There's a way to play basketball and there's a way not to. You can't play it thinking as much as those guys are, because at that point you stagnate your instincts.
Coach, what do you feel like the team could do a better job on the defensive end in these next couple of games?
Defensive end, I think minimizing rotation, which means do a better job guarding the ball, guarding the dribble, being able to not collapse your defensive shell instead of having oftentimes, and I showed T.O. is such an active player that he was often rotating from a spot that did not require him rotating, and that takes away the second side. And he has to have discipline in allowing someone else to stop the baseline seal, and he gets to a MIG, and that's the most important guy, or a goalie type of situation where he's Xing out the weak side. Oftentimes we're having 2 guys running after the ball, and I think that's where our discipline has to improve, and that's the clips that our guys have been shown by me, and they've corrected it thus far, so we just needed to show up in the game.
Coach, going forward, where would you like to see Javon Porter improve to Ohio State at some point?
I want Javon to continue to get better in his transition from being the hunter to the hunted. Oftentimes, when you have a transfer from mid-major to high major, there's a philosophy and mentality. Javon, being at Pepperdine and LMU, he knows what it means to play against high majors. Now, you are the high major playing against others, and I want his point of attack to be a little bit different. I want his precision to be different. He's not the 3-point shooter that his stats show. I want him to just calm down and be okay and just, be patient with being able to catch and shoot, because his percentage is low from 3. I don't want him to stop taking it, because over his career, he's shown the ability to get that percentage a little bit higher than what it is. Rebounding, I want his rebounding to go up, and obviously that'll dictate his aggression.
Sort of take us back a little bit.
It's okay.
When you say analytically frozen at,
Yeah.
at the ball handling position, what is that and what is the opposite that you're looking for?
They're analyzing a lot. It's not from an analytical statistics standpoint. It's just analyzing the defense and just trying to do something perfect versus doing it at 110% aggression and then reading from that position. But if they're just scanning and frozen and not penetrating the defense, not getting points in the paint, and not getting paint touches, I think those two specifically they've been driving the ball to score. They need to drive the ball to collapse the defense to be able to kick. And now that will open up different opportunities, because if now teams see them kick, it will be less traffic in that area, and they'll be able to easily decide to score. So that's what I mean by that.
With Sebastian, he's been at about 20 plus minutes a game. Played 18 total the last 2 games. What led to the decision to kind of reduce?
Just
his
accountability. Notre Dame game, Sebastian, we went from walkthrough, and just point of emphasis when you're changing different defensive schemes from one school to the next. Scouting report errors aren't acceptable on the road at all. You may be able to get away from it and get better during home games, but on the road it'll put you behind. And that was the reason why I decided to minimize his minutes. He's been awesome, and I hadn't seen those same mistakes show up. So accountability is a little bit different, and he's doing a good job. I think he's making the transition again, no different than Javon. The question is how much time it takes. I think when you look at road games, those are completely different games than home games. Now the question is scheduling. There's a lot of teams that have overscheduled. I don't care how you look at it, I'm not going to overschedule. So, there may be talks about the schedule. No. We were at the same spot we were the last 3 years in terms of being able to maximize what we need to maximize. The only change I would make is trying to offset the ACC road with a game like a Kansas and not put too much pressure in 1 year with back-to-back road games like that. And then you can see a different version of your team playing against no different like a Minnesota at home, but now have a Notre Dame at home and then a Kansas on the road, or a Kansas at home and then possibly a Notre Dame on the road, and that'll give you a different complex of what scheduling is. But as it relates to those opportunities, they've allowed us to grow. It's great being an 8-win team right now. I know a lot of teams will want 8 wins, and we're just searching for the 9th, and we wasn't able to get it the last 2 games.
One last question.
Coach, over these past couple of games, you touched on it a little bit before, but where did you see your team struggle in the half court offensively, and what do you think can improve going forward?
Ball movement. I think that will be the most important thing if I had to make that decision. I think our guys have seen from our film what we can improve on, and I've shown them exactly what we can improve on, especially when you look at those middle 8 minutes. Whether Ant Robinson's playing or not, we still have a responsibility, and the analogy that I used was along the lines of a football team just trying to hit Hail Marys or throw Hail Marys, or a baseball team just going in the batter's box swinging to hit home runs in the entire time. You got to have, to beat teams in baseball, you got to force their pitcher to have a high pitch count. So time of possession is one of them during those middle 8 minutes that we got to make sure we going to halftime feeling good about ourselves, and coming out of halftime feeling good that ball's kind of moving from side to side. Whether we make or miss the shot, we got to give ourselves a chance to go against a defense and give a defense a chance to make mistakes, and I don't think we've done that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Elliot.
Thank you.
Thank you.